Hello everyone, this is Venus Brown back with another reaction to The Crown. This is Season 5, Episode 9. We are coming close to the end. This is the penultimate episode, and it's called Couple 31. Now this episode seems to delve very well into the reality of going through divorce, and that's for the prince and princess's divorce, plus other people's divorce. Now, I was going to try to use my cordless earbuds that my husband got me recently, but they don't seem to come up as a recording option. So I can hear everything all right through them, and that would avoid this whole cord here, but the microphone does not register on my option. These aren't great either, but they're better than the other options I have. We did see BBC go through that interview, and we get to see some of the fallout from that on here. I just don't remember how much fallout exactly. I know there was fallout for Diana. Is the fallout from that interview going to be highly directed at the prince or the crown and all of that, or is it gonna go differently? Is there gonna be fallout for the BBC? Are we gonna even see that? I'm not sure, but let's find out. Okay, so I think that looks a lot better. If the lighting gets bad, I think it's that this may dim a lot, and if it does, then I may have to adjust it again. But right now, this should work. Alright, let's get to the show. Courtroom for the divorce. Not that much different than here, except for the wigs, maybe. The only person that would be wearing the robe would be the judge, but other than that, I think
A book club?
Fairly similar.
Church? I'd always ask him to come, but he never want to.
I'd say to her, I don't know these people.
And you don't get to know people if you don't go and see them.
Every night.
Get to know the people that are there just by being there.
I still love her.
No.
No. She's like, I can't keep going without that there, you know. You end up becoming like just two roommates, and then that legal document is the only thing really keeping you together, and it's just so unfulfilling.
Dearest Charles, dearest Diana, the determination of your marriage is not only inevitable but preferable.
It was a long time ago. Too bad it took that long to figure it out for certain people. The institution
But the present situation has become intolerable.
was already. Time for the introduction. And here it is, the intro for The Crown, Season 5. If you like this content, you can go ahead and click that thumbs up button. If you like, you can click the bell to subscribe. And if you click all, you'll get notifications whenever new content is loaded. You can share it or even save it to watch later if you like. That's totally up to you. It's no one else's decision. Just yours. And now, here it comes. The Crown.
And the letter from the Queen. It was so final. It was so matter of fact.
Yep. Because even if you know that a marriage needs to be dissolved, I would imagine it would still be very hard. I mean, I had former relationships with boyfriends that had to end, and you don't always feel good about it afterward. Even if you know that the relationship has become toxic, it still hurts. It's a person that you spent a part of your life with. That does suck, even if you know it needed to end.
Threatened if I contest the figure that she's going to withdraw her consent to the divorce. It means another 2 years.
Well, she probably thought after the interview that she'd be left holding all the cards. Instead, it's all just blown up in her face.
How are things with you? There's ghastly people gone from the end of your drive.
Sadly not.
Now, I've heard that the paparazzi are like way worse in the UK than they are in America. I don't know how true that is. I just think they're ridiculous everywhere. Especially the tracking people down when they're doing private things that are none of our business. Like, that stuff needs to frickin' end.
Did you meet with him?
With a spin doctor?
The spin doctor. I mean, that's pretty much what PR is. Doctor that spin.
Might prove hard to keep things amicable.
We need is some kind of mediator. What about you? An intercessor? An umpire?
You seem to be good at being even-keeled and kind, saying what needs to be said, but still managing to get somewhere.
I was lost for words. Boy from Brixton who couldn't get a job as a bus conductor, being asked to mediate in a royal divorce by the Queen herself.
I think some of us shy people, maybe we handle the situation a certain way that makes it better, more thoughtful or something. I don't know.
We all want to see you.
Depends how much work I have.
Gracious. Jen. I don't remember where I turned the share screen off.
What's the point in having a family if you never see them? I have begged him to take on less shifts.
Sometimes we had to choose between putting money in the gas meter and buying food.
The biggest birthday present you could give your children would be time with you.
Yep. Even if you feel like you have to have the money to do this and that and the other thing, switch off. Like every now and then, set the freaking job aside and take care of the family. Failed marriages because nobody can balance anything. So this is the PR. What do we call them? I just called them PR.
Quite sure what I was expecting a spin doctor to look like.
Remember that band, the Spin
For a
Doctors?
spin-
I know the PR people have a name.
Yeah, I think the press, and by implication the country, has been monstrous.
That's
One doesn't want to be all
absolutely.
loving the Prince of Wales. It's cost me everything.
What are we going to do about it?
As I see it, I have a clear choice. Either I abandon my relationship,
Which you've tried to
or
do.
I put my foot to the floor and go for it.
The whole relationship. I think the more open and honest you are with the public, the more likely they are to eventually just deal with it. They may not like it at first, but then eventually they're like, this is part of the scenery and this is the way it is. And sometimes I think they do like it because they like that kind of honesty.
Whatever I would be if I were his wife. I can't say that word.
Queen.
The Q word.
Why?
It's
treasonous.
Is it treason, though? If they are separated, they are in the process of getting divorced. And mistresses have always been a thing. Even his relationship with her wouldn't necessarily be treason. But you could read the tea leaves and see that the marriage is not going to stick. So then, therefore, what happens?
The biggest single overnight improvement Prince of Wales could make to his public image would be to resolve the divorce as swiftly and as amicably as possible.
I agree. I mean, the entire country is sick of my leathery old skin.
A lot of us are the leathery skin and the, not so nice appearance, and we might relate to that. One of the
Two
songs they
cornerstones
sang reminded me
any
of my
successful
sister.
relationship.
Little Miss
Declaration of
Can't Be
War.
Wrong. Oh my gosh, that was
Perhaps the
Little Miss,
princess,
Little Miss
in
Can't
seeking
Be
such a
Wrong.
large initial sum.
Because when we were kids, it was like everything that my sister said. She had to be right, and there was no wrong.
Never know who's listening.
Yeah,
Go on, that's true.
remember. Tap stones, people listening on the radio waves. Cricket, is that what that is? I think so. All these things in the UK that we don't do over here, but kind of recognize them at this point because of seeing them and hearing about them so much.
Perhaps in seeking such a large initial sum is simply trying to ensure her future independence.
Yep.
After a lengthy discussion, His Royal Highness is now prepared to discuss a sizable payment. One stipulation: refrain forever from speaking about the marriage or the monarchy.
I would say put the same kind of stipulations on him. He can't bring up the mental illness, character assassinations, something like that.
You must resolve this divorce. You cannot retain the sympathy and respect of the nation until that's done. Take the high ground, get it done, and start to bring Mrs. Pocket Bowles out into the open.
Yep. Get the people in the world knowing there's no way this marriage is working. We're not trying to be evil assholes.
I'd always wanted kids. On the honeymoon, I suggested we start trying.
I was only 24. I said, give it time.
She started going out.
He would stay up, waiting for me. Like a policeman. Like listening in on my calls, reading my post. Do you ever feel that some people just aren't cut out for marriage?
You certainly aren't.
Her not wanting to have children right now doesn't mean she's not cut out for marriage. Being controlling the whole way, that is abusive. I wonder if they're going to show anywhere they decided not to grant a divorce.
Prince and Princess.
Well done. How on earth did you manage that?
I wish I could take the credit.
I don't know. I think both you and that PR guy influenced him, and that's why he made that decision.
He's offered a lump sum of some £17 million, £400,000 from which fund her own office and...
So it sounds like half of what she was asking, which is totally fine because millions of pounds is...
The same procedure as thousands of divorces before it.
How sad.
I look at it that way. I look at it as a positive move forward. It was ending before it began. Just people didn't know. And as soon as it got out, it was ending in the social fabric of the world. It needed to be done. Good. And then you don't have to worry about it taking 2 years. You don't have to worry about the back and forth and the anger and resentment and... Well, hopefully not.
Certainly not relief.
Really? You should.
It's good for the boys that the hostilities are over.
Are the hostilities over? I hope so, but I don't remember.
It can't have been easy for Diana either.
I like that window, the etched glass. And it keeps the visibility from being completely clear.
This picture's different.
Lots of things here are different. Why are you here? Anytime you say anything remotely nice.
Probably didn't do that enough, did I?
Probably not. Too often said mean things that just counter that.
Yeah.
It's too easy to let the negative get to you.
How are those nuts?
Like cardboard.
Been there for months.
Yeah, nuts after they've been there too long, they get stale.
I could make an omelette. It's
impossible.
Why doesn't one just eat scrambled eggs all the time?
I don't know, they're fucking delicious. My favorite meal, whether it be cold cereal, hot cereal, eggs, omelet, bacon, sausage, biscuits. Love breakfast.
An audit. Lay it out on the table.
Oh, I think I remember this is where
An
things
autopsy.
get... Yeah.
Didn't say that.
Seems like it's going good so far.
You do know there was always love there.
Was there? Not the right kind of love. And most of the love was going to that third party in the marriage.
All anybody wanted was the fairy tale of us.
Yeah. But it wasn't real.
Born to do.
The
This
expectation.
is where it...
Look how miserable it's made.
At least on the show, he has this tendency to focus on the negative. And that's where...
I didn't marry a family,
it
I married a
descends
man.
like
I
this.
married you because I loved you. I could ask you the same question. Why did you marry me?
Because he was told to.
Because I had no choice.
Exactly.
My popularity has been transferred to William, who everyone preferred to see as king, not you.
Couple number 31. And make orders in accordance with the respective district judges' certificates.
There are those who say that the monarchy has no relevance to modern British life.
It's like in the fabric of their life.
A lot of people don't agree.
Societal, cultural thing. But does it keep their government functioning well? Sometimes I feel like the inequilibrium we have in America might be better suited with somebody to kind of turn down the temperature. Is that... she's pretty... I don't know if she's somebody, but... Okay, so that was season 5, episode 9, the penultimate episode. I thought it was pretty good. That last conversation that Diana and Prince Charles had together didn't end well. I still thought the majority of it went pretty darn good, because I thought that at the point that they started doing that autopsy of the marriage, that things had just disintegrated. But it wasn't actually until a little bit later when Charles focused on that interview and his perspective that she was annihilating his image as being able to be king and really focusing on the negative. That's when that whole thing started to disintegrate. Great episode. I am not going to wait for the finale. You will have to wait for a week, but I'm going to go ahead and record it right now because I have another trip coming up. It's going to be a little bit more than a week. It's really hard for me to keep up with everything that I need to do while I'm on these trips. So I'm really going to try to do all the recordings I need to do now. Hopefully I'll get all the editing done so that I can either post each video on the week that they're supposed to be posted, or I can schedule them to be posted on the week that they're supposed to be posted. I'll see you next week. Bye.
Until next time, I'll see you when I see you. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you want more content, click subscribe. If you click that little bell and click all, then you'll get more content notifications.